and welcome to yet another edition of the Full Force News Burst, brought to you by GeneralsJoes Reborn.com, with me as your host, Chris Massive Unit McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80. That has nothing to do with my by the way. Joining me today to talk about a couple of new updates for the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie, including the second unit assembling and a new illustrator, is Justin Third Unit Bell. So without further ado, let's get stuck into this unit burst.
That definitely has to do with my
third unit. Over the weekend, His Tank reported that the second unit for the Snake Eyes movie were in the process of assembling, with James Madigan at the helm as second unit director. Madigan worked on Retaliation and also a number of films by current Snake Eyes director Robert Schwenke. He is a Primetime Emmy Award winner and worked as one of the visual effects supervisors on the Iron Man movie series. The second unit will film all of those establishing shots of swooping mountain scenes, sunsets and so on. Joining Madigan as the unit manager will be Rhonda Taylor, with Beau Ferris and Philip Nee joining as assistant directors. Philip Nee also assisted James Madigan for the shooting of all the mountain scenes in G.I. Joe Retaliation, so there's plenty of experience in the team for G.I. Joe flicks, and seeing as a lot of this team have worked together before will hopefully help in getting a good movie at the end of all of this filming. It looks as though the second unit will begin filming well in advance of the main crew, who will begin in mid-October. The main crew have also added 3 more assistant directors: David Thompson, Megan Johnson, who worked on Star Trek Beyond, Deadpool 2 and War for the Planet of the Apes, and Greg Choi, who worked on Deadpool. In addition to that, we found out today that Howard Lau has been hired on as an illustrator for the movie. Lau has worked on many high-profile movies and TV shows, including The Man in the High Castle, Deadpool 2, Power Rangers, The X-Files from 2018, and the upcoming TV series Batwoman and C, which is coming up on Apple TV Plus very soon. So, Justin, lots to unpack here. Obviously, it makes sense to get started on the second unit filming, so that's a good thing, but hiring an illustrator at this stage seems a little late in the game when you have this main filming beginning in mid-October. Is that pushing it a little bit?
Seems like it, yeah. I mean, I would think, well, I guess it depends on what the illustrator is going to be doing. If he's doing if it's background illustration, if it's concept art, any of that stuff, it does seem a little late in the game, especially if it's concepts. If you're working on having him draw kind of, weapon design or, kind of, costumes or set design or things like that. It does seem like it's cutting it a little bit close, considering the movie is supposed to be starting filming shortly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless a lot of what he's illustrating is going to be added in post-production, which I guess is entirely possible. So, I mean, if that's the case, that might... it might line up okay, but it does seem everything seems to be kind of coming together all at once.
Yeah, very quickly as well, almost like we've got to get this done soon. I get the feeling as well that maybe this is news to us, but maybe he's been in that position, maybe he's been doing work for them for a certain period of time. Yeah,
that was another thing I was thinking too, is that, just because we're only finding out about this now doesn't mean that it's just happening now. I mean, he could have been on board for a while. It just recently leaked.
I mean, do you still expect delays?
Are
you hoping? Are you hoping for some delay? I am.
Yeah, I don't want to rush product, but I mean, it seems like the more that's coming together without words of delays, the more unlikely it seems that there will be any. But I don't know. There's something still tells me they're trying to do too much in too short a period of time. So I mean, we'll see how things shake out. Let's put it this way, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not necessarily expecting it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And I mean, with all the news, like the second unit stuff and Howard Lau also being involved, coming on board, they've all got really good films under their belts. I mean, that's got to be promising, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously there's a certain skill set there that, a lot of people, you don't really sit there and think about, I hope we get a good second unit director on this film. I mean, obviously it's but I think it's one of those things where if the person is doing their job right, it does, you don't notice. I mean, like you said, the sweeping shots of mountains and things like that, if they flow with the rest of the film and the second unit filming crew has done their job as they're supposed to, and the transitions are even and seamless, and, the close-up scenes match kind of the long shots, so to speak, then it's not a big deal. You only notice it if it doesn't work. So, I think in any of those cases, I think they've certainly got people on staff with a decent pedigree, and I think they'll do a fine job.
Yeah. And one of the other things, the last thing I want to mention is the fact that one of the standout things for me in G.I. Joe Retaliation, and it had to be a standout because of the film, is quite weak in my opinion, but one of the standouts for me were the mountain scenes and some of that gorgeous landscape filming and photography and long
Definitely.
shots and everything. And then even the scenes with the ninjas are actually really cool. I actually enjoy that far more than the CGI fest of Rise of Cobra with the Delta 6 accelerator suits. I kind of see those two as almost like they're the kind of comparative elements in basically the same element of the film in each version of that film. Like the Delta 6 accelerator suits, in comparison, it's the ninja fight on the mountain, isn't it?
Yeah, it always seems like these big movies have to have some kind of huge showcase somewhere that's something new and different that you haven't seen elsewhere. And for Rise of Cobra, it's definitely kind of that chase through, I guess, was it Paris with the accelerator
Paris
suits?
Pursuit,
and,
mate,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then for Retaliation, it was obviously the mountain scene.
Yeah. In any case, it's interesting again to see this information bursting through. Still no word on the Baroness. When is that going to be popping up? We really need to know who that is. Oh my goodness.
No kidding.
They are holding on to that one, aren't they? I think they're gonna really shock some people with the announcement for that one. I mean,
let's hope.
More likely us, because we have no clue who it is.
Yeah, because I'm old and I'm not up on Hollywood trends. I don't know who the popular actresses are. Yeah. Who's this person?
Exactly. But dude, thanks for jumping on. Really appreciate it once again.
Sure, not a problem.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Thank you to my awesome co-host Justin Bell. See you next time, and as always, full units, Force, and illustrators. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on Twitter @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page facebook.com/The Full Force, and if you would like to contact the show you can message us on either of those platforms with feedback or questions. We have also started a Patreon page, so if you want to see your name up in lights on these videos or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.